Hello, my friends. In order to maintain its position as the world's most feared and hated bully, the United States continues to poke its finger in China's eye, succeeding to humiliate, embarrass, and shame China's President Xi Jinping in front of his own constituency. My question is Joe Biden playing a dangerous game of chicken with all of our lives? In the early 1970s, the Nixon administration sent Secretary of State Henry Kissinger over to China to bring a bag of bagels and to open China up for trade and commerce with the rest of the world. At that time, it was agreed that Taiwan was part of China, and it was assumed that someday in the future, Taiwan and China would reunite. Since the 1970s, the United States has never encouraged the independence of Taiwan, at least not publicly. All that has just changed.
5 U.S. lawmakers meet with Taiwan's president during a surprise visit. Their trip comes nearly 2 weeks after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's high-stakes trip sparked days of Chinese military aggression.
Gordon Chang is a Gatestone Institute senior fellow and author of The Coming Collapse of China. Gordon, good morning to you. So what kind of response can we expect from China?
I think that it's going to be actually war. And the reason, Henry Kissinger in the Wall Street Journal article said, look, we are on the edge of war with Russia and China. And I actually think that he is right. You were talking about today as marking 1 year after the fall of the Afghan government. Well, 1 year ago today, China issued propaganda saying that when they invaded Taiwan, not if, that when they invaded Taiwan, that the island would fall within hours and the U.S. would not come to help. That fall of Afghanistan led to the failure of deterrence in Ukraine, where a much more powerful combination of the United States, the European Union, and Great Britain failed to deter Vladimir Putin. The Chinese believe that that disarray in the Western coalition really means that it is ineffective. And I think the Chinese believe that they can do what they want. So this is a point where we should expect that the Chinese will do something.
We've been led to believe that it is the will of the Taiwanese people to cut the umbilical cord and separate once and for all from the motherland. We have been told that the Taiwanese people resist the oppressive tyranny of the Beijing communist regime and all of their apparatchik, that Taiwan wants its own independence and its own freedom. Of course, Beijing is not going to allow the independence and freedom of Taiwan because, you see, Beijing considers Taiwan to be part of China. So this means there's going to be a war. Now, who's going to fight this war? Obviously, little Taiwan is not going to defeat mainland China in an all-out war. So who's going to help Taiwan? And I guess that's going to be us, since we are the ones advocating Taiwan's independence. We are also the ones sending warships through the Strait of Taiwan, provoking mainland China. So the Biden administration seems to be committing the United States to go to war with China. Is that okay with you?
A U.S. Republican senator visiting Taiwan has pledged support for the territory's independence from China.
We look forward to continuing to help and support Taiwan as they push forward as an independent nation.
To put this in perspective, just imagine if, say, 60% of the population of Hawaii wanted to secede and separate from the Union. Imagine if China was advocating the independence of Hawaii from the United States. Imagine if China was selling arms to Hawaii to be used against Americans in the continental United States. Imagine if China was sending its warships between Hawaii and the US, flexing its muscles and pounding its chest and daring America to just try it. Just imagine that. You see, it's okay when we do something, but it's not okay if somebody does something to us. There's a big difference. Now, America is now encouraging the independence of Taiwan. This means there's going to be a war. There is no way China is going to allow Taiwan to be independent. You see, Taiwan was used as a military base in World War II by the Japanese to launch attacks onto the mainland of China. Taiwan, like I said, is only 60 miles off China's coast.
Coming on the heels of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's historic visit to Taiwan. And she's not the only one who's gone. You've seen bipartisanship in support for Taiwan from American lawmakers. You saw Democratic Senator Ed Markey go. You saw Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn visit the island, meet with officials there. This is just continuing in that vein of the Congress trying to show support for Taiwan, even at the risk of the fact that Beijing has suggested that they could potentially retaliate again for this. You've already seen some retaliation. You've seen them sending warships and missiles through the Taiwan Strait in the Taiwan area. But at the same point, you're seeing that Congress has really doubled down in a bipartisan way in their support of the island.
Beijing has always advocated the peaceful reunification of Taiwan with the motherland. America opposes this, you see, most especially the word peaceful. America doesn't like that word. America is now supporting Taiwan's independence, and that is something that is never going to happen, and America knows it. There's only 3 possible outcomes out of this. Number 1, Taiwan is completely destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth. Number 2, Taiwan reunites with China under force. Or number 3, Taiwan becomes the 51st state of the United States of America. Think about that. Wouldn't that be a great, 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 great accomplishment for the Biden administration? Here we have the most incompetent president we have ever had accomplishing the greatest achievement any president ever achieved. What a fantastic, phenomenal piece of real estate Taiwan is, and what a strategically, stupendously great location Taiwan is in. America could put all of its missile batteries right into Taiwan, pointed right up the anal orifice of Xi Jinping. We could threaten all the Chinese people with imminent death if they didn't do what we say. We could pound our chest and continue to be the bully of the world for decades to come. How great. But this cannot be done through a proxy war. America would have to commit its troops and its blood to capturing Taiwan. Are we ready for that? And what would this be like for the Taiwanese people? Now let me see. This is tough, you see, because the Taiwanese people have expressed their great dissatisfaction with reuniting with the motherland. They don't want to be under the thumb of the oppressive communist regime. So how would it be for the Taiwanese people to be part of America if they were the 51st state? Well, let's see. It would be a new experience for them, because Taiwan is a very safe, quiet place that has very high productivity and very low crime and no destruction of public property. All that would change, of course, if they were the 51st state. The Taiwanese people would have to get used to robberies, rapes, carjackings, destruction of public property, ghettos, welfare, homeless people, beggars, all kinds of new things to amuse the people of Taiwan. I contend that after about a year of being part of America, Taiwan will be begging Beijing to please allow them to reunite with the motherland. Have a great day.